Bueno, bienvenidos a todos a Tiempo Fuera. Hoy estamos con Michael Kessens. Well, first of all, Michael, how are you?
I'm great. I'm great. Thanks for having me. How are you guys doing?
We're doing great. Thanks for coming. You actually, before we started, uh, for the ones that are hearing this podcast that aren't coming from Michael's part, the ones that are from our side, he was talking a little bit about how he talked to Seba Herrera, one of the best Chilean players at the moment, about us, and he knew. And so that's like a shock. I didn't
Yeah.
personally didn't believe that any
Yeah.
other player apart from the ones that we interviewed knew about us.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he had heard about you guys. I'm pretty sure, and yeah. So uh, I'm excited to do the podcast with you guys, and let's do it.
So one of the first things that we usually ask is uh, because we like to go kind of like in a timeline, is when you started playing basketball and who or what made you start playing.
I started playing a long time ago. Well, it was late, but I started at 16 and a half. Yeah, and I played football before that, but I just
Soccer or football?
That's
no,
not a,
soccer
you
for the
can't
Americans. But
look.
yeah.
This is just for Luga. Luga, you're from Argentina. You should know better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, and so yeah, then I had some friends that were playing basketball, and I was also I had the height that goes with it, so I just
Nice.
went there to a practice one day, and it just worked out, and yeah, I'm here today.
Many greats started at that age. The first one that comes to my mind is actually because uh, I think on a couple of days ago I interviewed someone that told me he started late, and he said like 9 years old. So I told him that's not late, man.
Yeah,
You know, and I gave the example of Joel Embiid. He started at 16, I think, too.
yeah, yeah. Tim Duncan started late too, like 17, I think, 16 or 15, something like that, but around that age. But yeah, it was easier because when you like a little bit older also you have no bad habits
Yeah,
that
yeah,
you
Yeah,
create when you're younger. So when you everything you learn, you if you are with the right coaches and the right programs, you learn everything the right way, and that's the only way what I mean.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
perfect.
So that's the advantage you have. And then of course the disadvantage is that you start late, so you have less time to improve.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like you
Yeah,
gotta you gotta learn fast if you want to play professionally. But I mean that wasn't my goal when I started. That came way later, that I said, okay, I want to be professional. But I never played basketball. I never started playing thinking I want to be a pro. That things kind of just happened.
perfect. And
Yeah.
going on to the present, what do you expect to this season?
Well, that's always a tricky question, because you can have individual goals, collective goals.
Yeah,
Me personally, I am a
yeah,
player that I thrive. I play my best basketball when the team is a real team, when we have a real collective. And so for this year, we had a great year last year, and we are bringing back a lot of guys, which is not always the case in Europe. Teams change a lot, but we were able to keep half of the team pretty much, and then add guys like Seba, who was played for our coach before, who knows the system. TJ Shorts is another a guy that has played in a similar system. So this season, I just expect us to be the best we can be, and that at the end of the season we are better than when we started, and hopefully we'll be able to achieve something together, and that next year everybody will be in a better team.
yeah.
Be able to do what they want. That everybody can keep going up. That's what I hope for this year, and if that means that we win the championship, then fuck it. Let's win the
Yeah.
championship. Huh? Sorry for the cussing, but if
You
if it
you
means that
Same.
we,
you can
all
cast
right,
all you want here.
all right, and if that means that we maybe don't make the playoffs, then so be it. But as long as we gave everything we got and we got better, and everybody is better off next year, then that would be great.
And you're doing great. You're 3-0 right now in the third place, so you're undefeated. And when you come, you're going to be even stronger. So,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah. We
for
sorry, go ahead. I cut
no,
you off. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, Alba Berlin and Rostock Seawolves, you better be shaking.
Yeah, well, we played Berlin. We played Berlin in the cup game, like this past week, and we lost by 3 or 4 points, which is a little bit disappointing. We played a great game, and but as shit happens, it is what it is.
Yeah.
And we played in the Champions League, and we also lost our first game there. We won our second one, and the guys are actually on the way to Athens, or they actually arrived there. They play tomorrow, our third game. So hopefully they're going to come out with the W, and we'll be 2-1 in that group, which will be a huge step towards the second round.
Great. We know that you played in the NCAA. You played in 3 teams, actually. I have them right here. It's the Longwood
Mm-hmm.
Lancers,
Mm-hmm.
the Alabama Crimson Tide, and Florida
Yeah.
International Golden Panthers.
Yeah.
Is there a reason why you transferred 2 times?
Yeah, actually there is. So, as you guys probably know, like this was like 10 years ago when I
Yeah.
went to the US. It was really difficult to be recruited if you went from America, right? To go right from Europe to, in my case, right from Europe into the NCAA was very complicated. You had to know people. It was very hard to show film.
Yeah.
Guys wouldn't come watch your practices, and like, yes, there was the internet, but it was not like it is today. And so I was in France at the time, and I really wanted to go to college, and some schools were interested. I had contacts with some schools, and Longwood Lancers were the only school where the coach actually helped me do all the paperwork stuff.
Yeah.
Everything that I had to do with the NCAA, the paperwork for the school, the educational part. There's just like so much paperwork you can't even imagine. And all these other schools wouldn't help me. They would basically tell me, "Oh, did you do that? And if you do it, if you get it, then call us." And he actually helped me. Mike Gillian is his name, and Doug Tebow. Those are the two coaches of that program at the time who helped me get basically approved by the NCAA. And so I went to play for them. It was a very young university, the basketball side, the first time in a conference in Division One. So we had limited talent, but we had a great group of guys. And the thing that happened at the end of that year is that they fired the coaching staff.
Oh.
Because they weren't happy with our results, which I thought at the time was the wrong decision, and I still think so. But that led to me transferring the first time. And so I had a good year individually, which helped me get the attention from bigger schools. Alabama was one of them, and I decided to go there, and I played there for 3 years. I sat out 1 year because when you transfer, you have to sit out 1 year. And after that, at that school also, the coach got fired, and they hired another coach. It's bad luck. And I graduated, and I had 1 year left to play. And because I graduate, there's a rule that says that you can change schools without sitting out.
Oh, nice.
And exactly. And at that time, I knew I wanted to go professional, but I knew that I had to go somewhere where I would get playing time because that was the most important for me. And Florida International had hired the coach that was at Longwood, Mike Gillian.
Oh.
So he was the assistant coach there. And so I called him and I said, I want to play my last year for you. And I decided to go there for my final year. So, I didn't want to transfer all these times. I probably would have done 4 years at Longwood if they had fired the coaching staff. But, things happen. And then you gotta do what you gotta do at the end of the day.
It actually led to a re-encounter.
Exactly. A happy ending, so to speak. It wasn't always easy. NCAA is very difficult from European basketball. It's very it has a specific type of play. The way things go, it's very I put this very different. And I loved my time there. Great time. I met people on the court, off the court, that will remain friends throughout my whole life. But I also struggle that now looking back was good, but it's not it wasn't easy all the time.
Perfect. And also we know that you play for the Germany national team. What about that? Can you tell us your experience? How does it feel?
Yeah. So actually, I was nominated the first time a year ago, almost to the day. And at the time I was 30, so it was really late to be nominated the first time. But it was also for me just a reward for the hard work, for the good, the bad times, the struggle, but really like for just the pride of being selected for the national team is something that regardless of the sport, I think
that's right.
There's no higher up for me. If you can represent your country, then whatever sport it is, then that's one of the best feelings. And so it was amazing. I played 4 games, and hopefully when I'm back healthy, I'll be nominated again. But it was a great experience, and like I said, it's something that I will never forget, and it's something that I worked very hard for. And to be honest with you, I didn't expect it to happen. But it did, and it's not something I take for granted.
The World Cup is coming up. I believe you're going to be healthy then, so who knows?
Yeah, who knows? It's a lot of talent, in Germany, especially in the national team. I don't know if you guys followed the Eurobasket a little bit.
Yeah.
Germany did really well. They have, especially at the big position, it's a lot of talent. And obviously, me personally, I want to make the team. Every individual should feel that way. But sometimes guys are better, and at the end of the day, the coach has to decide what's best for the team. And I hope that I'll in some way be involved. If it's in the roster, perfect. Right now, I did the qualifications for that. That's also a big part in the process of going to the World Cup. But yeah, like you guys said, we'll see what happens.
Great. Another thing that we came across while we usually research our players to get in front to the interview, but one thing that we stumbled across is while we were checking, we usually take our info on a website that's called Pro Bowlers, from other pages as well, but usually that one. And we usually check the teams that you play with. We play. I know you played with Cholet under 21s. Then you play all the NCAA teams. So we check the teams, so we know who you played with, and we stumble across a big name.
Yeah.
Rudy Gobert.
Yeah. He's I played with him basically under 18 and under 20 in France. So Cholet is a Pro A team, first division team in France, and they have a very well-known youth academy. And players that come out of there that you might know is Rudy, of course, Nando De Colo, Rodrigue Beaubois plays for FS, played in the NBA also. Kevin Serafin played there, and a bunch of guys that play now in Europe. And when I went there, I was 17, and Rudy was 16. He's a year younger than me, and we became good friends. We played together 4 years, and we stayed in touch. He got drafted. I went to the US, and a year later he got drafted, so he was also in America. And we stay in touch. He's a good friend. He came to a playoff game of mine last year in Germany. That was pretty cool. And yeah, this is one of the relationships that I meant throughout basketball. You stay in touch with guys, and he also has had a special journey, and we are all very proud of him. for him also wasn't always easy, but he's a guy that wants it, and he's a hard worker, and he has talent, and there's no surprise for me that he is where he's at today.
He's playing really good. I think I watched the other game, the Timberwolves game against Utah Jazz, because I wanted to see,
Yeah,
Rudy and the other players that were from the
yeah,
Minnesota playing against each
yeah,
other. And
yeah,
I think he grabbed like 25 rebounds.
yeah. He had, I think he had right now he had 3 games. He's averaging like 17 rebounds a game.
He's
He's doing
absolutely
really well. Yeah, yeah, he's doing really well. I mean, that's what I just want to see him have a little bit more involvement, maybe offensively, not necessarily, post ups, things like that, but just like
Yeah.
to play with guys that look for him, because he's he's 2 meters 17, he has good hands, he can finish inside. So that's an aspect of the game that a lot of people don't know about him, because he's like a defensive guy, which he will remain, but he has he can bring a lot more, I think, on the offensive end. And now playing with, I don't know, I watched a couple games like with Karl Anthony Towns and D'Angelo Russell. Those are guys that
Yeah.
look to pass the ball to him also. That's why he's been able to score some points also so far.
Great. Another thing that we have, like out of curiosity, is if you have like one thing that you have left to accomplish that you want to do in your career.
That's a tough one. I haven't won anything at the professional level yet, so I think that's the one thing that I want to achieve before I start playing. Obviously, not easy at any level to win anything, but I'm confident that at some point I will. And yeah, that's probably the one thing in my basketball career that I want to do.
Great. Now we divide our videos in sections, and we move now to the second one, that it's a player left a question for you. In this case, it's Dino Bosevsky, that plays for the Liga. If he plays in the Liga in Italy, Happy Casa Brindisi.
Okay. Yeah. I know the team.
He's like 18. He's really young. I think he was. We talked a little bit before the interview started. He was a little bit nervous. It was his first podcast invitation, so.
Oh, okay.
And he left a question for you. Obviously, he didn't know who was coming, because we don't.
Okay.
That's the idea of this section, that
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
not biased.
That's nice.
And he left a question for you that do you meditate or do something meditation like before a game?
I don't. I know a lot of guys do. For me, I also don't have a routine when it comes to listening to specific music or things like that. But what I do is I work with a mental coach, so that is something that has helped me a lot. And his name is Rainer Meisterjan. He's German, but he's based in the US. He works with a lot of NBA guys, also a lot of guys overseas, and he's somebody that has helped me get better mentally when it comes to playing basketball, and that's something that carries over to my game. And I've never been somebody that has a huge routine before a game, but just working with him has helped me overall be prepared better for games.
Absolutely. And do you have a question you want to leave for next guest? Well, we can give you time and cut it out.
No, I got one.
Okay.
What is the biggest struggle that you faced in your professional or basketball career thus far, and how have you managed to overcome it?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
Well, look, if you want to introduce the last section, it's.
Yes. Well, the last question is flash questions. The most
Okay.
important thing is to you to respond the faster you can. And when you're ready, we go.
All right, I'm ready. Go ahead.
Okay. Favorite movie?
Training Day.
Perfect. Favorite TV show?
Oh, tough one. Big Bang Theory.
Not including basketball. What sport do you watch or play the most?
Football.
Perfect. Teammate you spend most time with?
Kessens Tada and Leon Katza.
Favorite food?
Mexican.
Best video game ever?
Grand Theft Auto San Andreas.
Hot or cold?
Too hot.
And finally, one dream left to accomplish, non-basketball related.
Have a family.
There's 2 left.
Yeah, I remember.
Go ahead.
No, one more. This one is the one that is related with basketball. Which are the best basketball shoes in your opinion?
Shooters?
Shoes.
Right now or ever?
Right now.
The KD 15.
Perfect.
You said Mexican food. I'm Uruguayan, but I was born in Mexico, so I manage pretty well with Mexican food. So whenever I go to Germany, I will cook you Mexican.
Vale, let's do it, man.
Thanks a lot, Michael. That was basically it. Thanks a lot for coming. We really enjoyed this time, and we'll keep in touch to tell you when the video will post and everything.
All right, thanks for having me. It was nice, really nice questions. I appreciate the time and keep doing what you guys do.
Thank you.
You didn't know this, but Seba knows you guys, and I'm pretty sure that hopefully the word was spread. And maybe talk soon. See you soon. And again, thanks for having me.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
All right, guys.
See you.
Bye. Bye.